$7,715 from the interfund transfer number, line 5031 to the highway general repairs line of 5110.4 in the amount of $7,715.
Yeah.
So, I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Edwards,
Aye.
Esposito,
Yes.
Jasinski,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes. And then the highway claim. I don't know if it's number 2, Carol. I left it blank.
I want to say it's 3, to be honest with you, but I'll just add it in, whatever it ends up being.
So now we need to pay the highway claim. So do we have a resolution, or do we have a motion that town board approve claim possibly number 3 in the amount of $7,715 for the road work as outlined in resolution 12-140?
So moved.
I'll second.
Edwards,
Aye.
Esposito, Jasinski,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes. Carol, one thing I was, I don't know if it's important or not, because when I was looking at that highway thing, I think Ryan made a couple of notes in there. She talked to the highway person and everything, and she referenced resolution 12.158. And when I was going through last night, I was trying to look, and I was going, well, the only one I could find was 12.140. But what struck me is there seems to be a gap of like 20 resolutions between 150 and again, I don't know if it's important, 151 and 169. I don't know if it's critical. or not.
We caught that, and so
Okay.
you might have it on yours, but we caught up with it.
Okay. All right, cool.
That was a while ago, right? It was back a couple months?
Yes. I
Yeah,
can say
yeah,
yes.
that's been taken care of.
Okay, cool, thank you. Junk car transfer, so, Mr. Lou got rid of the local zoo. Rodent thing back there, so we got rid of it. So what I'm asking for here is we scrapped it, we got $100, and by a previous resolution, well, actually we tabled the resolution, but we want to issue the check to the Princetown Civic Committee. So, do I have a motion, and it's hereby resolved, the town board of the town of Princetown hereby directs the town supervisor Joyce and bookkeeper Mead to issue a check in the amount of $100 to the Princetown Civic Committee for funds recovered with removal and disposal of the junk car previously stored on town hall property.
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Edwards,
Aye.
Esposito,
Yes.
Jasinski,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes. Refurbished copier for the water and code enforcement. The deal we thought we got for free from the business across the street after, and it died, so we had to get another copier. So I'm asking for a resolution and approval to go ahead and purchase one free, plus 1-year maintenance agreement, which includes toner and everything for $1,000 or $10,000 or $1,095. So do I have a motion that is the town board of the town of Princetown hereby directs the town supervisor Joyce to purchase a refurbished copier and 1-year maintenance contract for the water and code enforcement office from Eastern Office Supply Technologies in the amount of $1,095.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Liz, do we need a for our procurement policy, do we need a revision this?
No.
2, need 2.
Okay, so we'll have
Probably.
Well, then let's table and get a second with it.
Well, we got to pay them. Can we make the resolution pending two qualified bids? Or an additional qualified bid?
Well, it wouldn't be put on for payment until December anyway. So,
So if I get this, a couple extra bids by the agenda meeting, should be all right?
by the agenda meeting, yeah,
Give me 2 weeks.
yeah. It's best not to pay a bill unless you absolutely have to when it's out of sync like that.
All right.
If you have to, you have to, but it's not a good habit.
But we can put it on next month's.
Yeah, either one. It's better to have it, all the bills together in one abstract for historical purposes.
Okay.
But if you have to, you have to.
So let's table that one then. Adoption of the 2013 budget. I'm not sure if there's additional questions, so I'm just going to go with the resolution there. It is hereby resolved, the town board of the town of Princetown adopt the 2013 preliminary budget, including the town of Princetown general fund, water fund, highway fund, Platterkill, Pattersonville, Pine Grove, and Duanesburg fire districts, along with the 2013 water and sewer assessment rolls. Do I have a motion?
I'll make it.
Second.
Edwards,
No.
Esposito,
Yes.
Jazinski,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes. And the open clerk position. I think we need to prepare and that we may have an open position here. So I'm asking and I'll work with Mike and Michelle to put an ad in the paper to advise that there's, a open court clerk position. So do I have a motion that the town board of the town of Princetown direct town supervisor Joyce, with the assistance of the town attorney and Justice Van Wart, develop an advertisement to be placed in the Gazette for the town clerk position. Once the advertisement is agreed, the town clerk will publish the advertisement with the Gazette to be run, it should be for a certain duration as determined by Supervisor Joyce.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Edwards,
No.
Esposito,
Yes.
Jazinski,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes. All right. So at this point, I'll open it back up for public comment.
Norm Miller, Skyline Drive. Having watched and listening to the concept that Mr. Carver has, I find that extremely exciting. And hopefully they can complete the comprehensive plan quickly, because when I was on the former board or committee, that was one of the things that we were looking forward to. And the fact that he's looking for 2 bedrooms and 1 bedroom type condos, I think that's exciting rather than 3 and 4, because he was very clear that it increases your tax base without increasing your costs. So I would urge the board to help move that on as quickly as you could.
Thank you, sir. Additional thoughts from the floor?
Regarding that or anything else?
Anything you want?
I have a question. Well, no, it's not a question.
More a statement?
Yeah. 3 weeks ago, when we had this storm, this impending storm, okay, and everybody was frantic and trying to get home and get off the roads and whatever. Pilot was jam-packed, you couldn't fit a toothpick in the parking lot. Luckily, and as I'm heading down Waynesburg Road, they had all traffic blocked because the trucks were out in the road. Luckily, there was a trooper that was behind me. He got out of line, tried to direct the traffic to get around the trucks. They directed him further down to Waynesburg Road, okay, past the trooper barracks, and there was 4 of them. Right in a row, the car, and then myself. They got right to the intersection of where the light is now, and one by one, they did a U-turn at that intersection. I don't know what can be done about that, if anything, but it's very dangerous with the overflow of these trucks
Pilot.
and at Pilot, and it's not, I mean, it's constant. In the morning, you know, they got trucks on both sides of the road. I mean, I know they have to park somewhere, you know, that is what they need to do, but the overflow is now starting to come further down to Waynesburg Road.
Or did they make a U-turn at that light?
Why did they?
How did they make a U-turn
I'll
with a
tell you what, it
70-foot
wasn't
trailer?
easy. And I
70
sat
foot.
there, and I couldn't believe that I was
It's almost
watching.
impossible.
Well, it must not have been a U, they must have pulled in and backed up and then.
Nope, they went right, they were at that light, they went right around the right-hand side of Pingburn and came right around, right at the other side, because they widened the road down in that area. So it wasn't easy, and I'll tell you, they had traffic blocked for a long time. I got out of line, cut right in front of one of the trucks, and went right back down to the trooper barracks to get somebody down there. Because it was, I mean, they could have jackknifed, they could have tipped, they could have blocked that whole corner, that whole intersection. So I don't know if anything can be done, because technically it's Rotterdam, but it's coming.
At that end, yeah.
At that end, it's Rotterdam.
Rotterdam's problem's becoming our problem.
Right, it's coming down, further down the road,
Yeah.
so.
I've suggested, because I'm involved with an organization in trucking, that I met with DOT down in Albany. I suggested using the doubles lot over there for parking, and they were adamant, they said absolutely not, because they didn't want trucks crossing the highway heading back west, because parking for trucks has been a problem all over the country.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying they
And,
can't, they have to park somewhere.
I thought that they should do that. I've even suggested that the state give tax incentives to Golub and to the industrial park to allow overnight parking, and that never happened, because there's no overnight parking at the Price Chopper, and there's no overnight parking at the industrial park, whether it's Voorheesville, Walmart's in Johnstown, they just don't allow overnight parking. So what happens is, when they have a delivery of 6 in the morning or 7 in the morning, they're all congregated at the truck stop, and then they have to be there at a certain time, because if you miss your window, they turn you away for 24 hours or 48 hours, and they tell you to reschedule. And that's the problem. And like I said, a couple of the legislators, they had proposed giving tax breaks to the, like the Price Chopper and Galisi, but apparently it didn't get passed. So that's the only other alternative to help the truck parking over here. I can't see where the state won't let them park in the doubles lot, and and that's not even full. They refuse to let that happen, and the truck stop is actually too small. I counted the spaces there when I did a study on when they closed the rest areas up on Interstate 88, which is closed, which created a bigger problem for trucks coming into this area. They closed that rest area. There's only one rest area open now heading east on Interstate 88. So that creates a problem, and it's too far away. At least when there was in this side of Oleana and west of Codesville, they had a place to park and they could judge, for 45 minutes to get back to Schenectady to make their appointment. But now that that's closed, they did pass this Jason's Law, which is, was proposed by Conco and it got passed, that the government's gonna give the states money to reopen the rest areas, but I haven't seen it happen in New York State yet. If it does, I don't know what they're doing with the money, but they were supposed to reopen these rest areas up to compensate for this, like on Interstate 90 over there off of, between Albany and Berkshire Spur, and this one up here, which would alleviate some of the problem. But actually, this truck stop is way too small for the amount of trucks coming into this area. I think there was, when I did the study, goal of, and I've got the report home, how many trucks enter his facility every day, how many are entering the Voorheesville, and it's an amazing amount of trucks. Not all of them are stopping at the truck stop. Most of them come in and then leave, but the ones that do, it creates a big problem, especially for goals, because there's, like I said, they don't allow any overnight parking in there. You can only be there an hour before your scheduled delivery, and the same thing with the industrial park. There's just no overnight parking. And the industrial park, really, they've got plenty of room for overnight parking. And the reason they don't is because of the liability, that goes along with it, and drivers, garbage on the side, and, it's a twofold problem. But it is a problem, and I don't know how else they can do it unless, like I said, a couple of the legislators did, I think it's Peter Lopez, George Hamlin, where they signed on to that, to have a, tax, give them some tax breaks or some incentive to let them park overnight to alleviate some of these problems, but it never went that far. Legislation never got passed, as far as I know it didn't get passed. So I don't know what
So what do
else
we
you
do in
can
the
do.
meantime, is my question. What do we do in the meantime?
So maybe we can
I
reach
couldn't-
out, to the authority in Rotterdam, and they can talk to Pilot, and maybe we can talk to the state troopers and say, hey, you know what? Those traffic jams start, you gotta break it up. If it backs up all the way down, it backs up onto, onto 88,
Well, I think when they're coming from the west and they're getting off here, I mean, clearly, you can see it from the road. They're pretty jam-packed.
Yeah.
So they already know they're full, but they're getting off anyway.
Well, they have no place to go.
But
Where are
they
they
can't
gonna
do
go?
U-turns
When they have
at
you
the
have a delivery
intersection.
time, and you got a delivery into the town, where are you supposed to park? That's a problem. It's a
It
twofold
is a problem,
Gold needs his food, everybody needs their food.
right. And this
What
was
do you
4
do?
o'clock in the afternoon. It wasn't even like it was, later at night. It was during the day.
All right, well, I don't think we can solve it here, but maybe we can send a note to the state troopers here and say, hey, and maybe we can talk to Harry Before and see what Byron can, again, I don't know what they can do, but,
I don't know what
truck
really-
park,
I think they
don't
can
move
talk,
on.
I think they can talk to Gold's and Galisi and see if they can allow some parking in there. Now, that would alleviate the problem. That would certainly help, but
Well,
if they could do it.
like I said, my concern is because now it's heading down to Waynesburg Road. And now it's at, right in the middle of that intersection. It's just, it's bad, it's dangerous.
Absolutely. All right, thanks. Additional thoughts, comments? All right, at that point, I will close the public comment section and just hopefully very briefly go through councilman concerns. Lou, why don't you start?
Town hall's all repaired, the last one's done over here, the bathrooms are all repaired. Junk car was removed, the junk car did break in half when they went to lift it up. They got it up on a transporter, AC Body Works is the one who took it. They were kind enough to give us $100 for it, and that trailer that they pulled down the road was a sight to see.
I'll bet.
But, and we do know that, I suppose everybody knows now that Rebecca, our cleaning lady, quit. She became a nurse, so we do have an opening. We had 2 people that were interested in it, both the town residents. I think they both live on Pangburn Road. I interviewed the one, the other one hasn't called me back yet, is what I'd like to do, if it's agreeable to the town, maybe at the next agenda meeting, have either one or both of them, if I can get a hold of the other one, if she's still interested, come in and talk with the town board to see what you want to do. If that's agreeable with the board.
It's a great idea.
I think I should be the one to be hiring them. And I think, you know, the way we've always done it, we've always interviewed the,
No, that's what it is. I think it's a great idea. As far as the town hall goes, can we get in touch, or do you want to set up a call or a meeting with the adjuster?
yes.
I think we need to maybe recap some stuff.
The other thing is, I guess we can try to get a hold of Alex for the solar project. He did tell me that they're kind of backed up now. I know that, I guess it was everything past the planning board. And I think he told me that they've got 26 projects lined up. And I don't know where we fit in. We didn't get to speak with them. You know, Mike was concerned about at least getting one off the ground this year, maybe the well house, but I haven't spoken with Alex, but I guess Joe did today,
Yes.
and I don't know what he had to say, so.
Well, I talked about the cell phone service, you know, on each site, so that we could monitor the system. And he said, we had numbers once a week. And I talked with George about that. I said, I think George is up to these sites every day. And he said, if we could just go over to the inverter and write down, you know, the numbers of energy generator and get it to them, that'd be fine. So we would avoid that additional expense. And they're perfect